Hi there, Internet. It's me, Broken Terrain, and today I'm bringing you my most diabolical craft ever, the spike trap tile, guaranteed to kill everybody. And I'll show you how I do it right after the drop. This craft was one of my sketches in my book, and I've had it rolling around in my head for a long time, and it looked easy on paper, and I tried many different things to make it work, and finally settled upon a technique. It took a while, and I wasn't sure if it was working up to making a video about it. I turned to my friends on Instagram, and they told me keep going, so I did. And I'm going to show you how it all turned out. Ultimately, I end up really liking them, but I'm going to show you the trouble of making them here. You can see lots of failed bits and pieces here. The spikes wouldn't go through, or it was hard to match the dots or the openings from one panel to the other. I end up making a stencil, which helps me with the placement of the spike traps so that I can keep everything lined up. But until this point, I'm thinking XPS foam tiles. It isn't until later on that I remember I have these 6-inch by 6-inch wooden tiles, and these are ultimately what I'm going to use. I'm still going to use the template that I've got, and this template's a 3x3, and in each of the squares there are 4 spots for spikes. These tiles are a little smaller than 6 inches, so you'll see that I remove the outer ring of spikes just so that everything can kind of go together right and proper. I draw the pattern out on one of the top panels and then tape them all together so I can drill them all out in one pass. I've got a Dremel here set up on a drill stand and just rip through what is ultimately 6 wooden panels. Here you can see the finished test, and it's working. This is what I showed everybody on Instagram, and they told me keep going. So I'm going to break it down and show you how I got to this point. Here you see a piece of thicker chipboard. This happens to be from a Rice Krispie Treat box, and it has the same pattern. If you see, I've labeled the each of the 6x6 squares in quadrants A, B, C, and D. This is to keep track of which holes are where. This helps make sure that every part that should line up lines up. Did that make sense? Boy, I hope it did. So, for example, you see me drawing out the circles for quadrant D here. Because I'm directly using D off of the plate that I will be using, I can ensure that the spikes will line up just right. On the edge of your spikes, cut in extra close, and this is going to allow you to place some foam for channel to keep the little plate kind of in place and ensure that it doesn't float around inside the tile. Then you go ahead and I've got this nice little poker tool. Poke the start of the holes on the front side and then poke all the way through on the back side, and that's going to help feed the toothpicks through for your spikes. Now, the square you want to activate the trap is where you place your magnets. I put 2 just for a little more pulling power, and you can see on this tile there's 2 rows on one side. I try to place the magnets so that there is a magnet towards the most heaviest part of the tile. And this is where I determine the size of the spikes. The size of the spikes will directly come from your magnet's ability to reach through that top substrate there and react to the fender washer base. For me, it ends up being 3/8. So my spikes come through the this paper, this chipboard here, only 3/8 tall. This is going to be the complete movement of the magnet along with the width of the substrate. So the toothpicks, in theory, will be just at or slightly below the hole in our wooden plate. You stick them through, measure them. I found when doing a lot of these, you could measure the one on each of the four corners, hot glue them in place, trim the back, and then once those four corners are done, you could eyeball the interior spikes, and that helps speed things up. This took a long time. Each tile was a big process, and I did 6 tiles in total. This would allow me to use tiles with different pressure points at different locations and in different quantities to always keep my players guessing. I use foam cut to the width on my Proxon of the depth, so minus your top substrate from the 3/8 to get the depth of your interior. Here you can see the 4 panels all done, or the 4 quadrants of my tile. I'm going to put those back in, and the way you put these tiles together is by holding each plate in place with a magnet. So now all 4 plates are resting in the spike position. This allows me to quickly pipe some hot glue around the edges and just a little bit of dabs in the center. It's very important to do this cleanly. You do not want to hot glue those panels, though, because those panels are resting up with the magnets, you should have an extra measure of safety. Then quickly press your panel down to the back plate. For this, I used another 6x6 wooden plate. Firmly press down on all corners and edges, a little bit in the center where you place that glue, and you have your finished tile. Doing all of this by hand, though, I wasn't able to make all of the spikes just the right size. I do have a few that stick up past the plate, so I'm just going to grab my my pinchers there and cut the tips of the offending spikes, and then just to have some fun, I run some minis across and just check all of the pressure plates or the regions with the spikes. I am super pumped. They aren't quite strong enough to pop up when another mini's on, but you'll just have to deal with that in play. This craft can only be so awesome. Here's another example of changing up the plates. This one here is a 5 pressure plate, and this one, this amazing doom for the players, is 9. There are 9 different pressure plates on this one tile. How fantastic. These things are so deadly, and the more I made them and the more I thought about it, the more excited and twisted my mind became thinking about how to employ these. I cover them with a matte Mod Podge and matte black paint mixture just to strengthen everything up. You are going to have to free a few spikes from the glue. I would recommend maybe painting them first before you put them together. That would have helped. But you know, your old buddy Broken Train did it first for you, so that you can know that and do it better. Now it's on to painting them, and I couldn't put any texture on them. Any bit of texture would raise the figure up, and then the magnets would have a hard time finding that fender washer base. So instead, I turned to a DM Scotty trick. I'm going to create myself a stencil, a 3x3 brick stencil. I'm going to coat it carefully with Gray Storm, one of my favorite gray colors, and then I'm going to press my stone 3x3 stencil down in each corner of my tile, and I draw. You can see I have an arrow on the back of my stencil. That way I can go around and rotate the way the bricks are on each tile, and this is going to create a nice randomized look to the brick. To finish it off, I grab this white paint pen, and I'm just going to trace along the two edges, the same two edges of every brick, just to give each of the bricks a nice highlight. And this is going to add some 3D look, or a little I'm going to fake the texture on it. It ends up turning out really nice, and I really like it. I did have an issue with a couple of the side panels no longer popping up and hitting the base of the figure, warping the wood when it painted. In order to fix this, you just cut a hole in the side and slip a little cardstock in. That seemed to do the trick. Thank you so much, and now I'm going to turn it over to Tinley and the Shamrock Boys in just a little bit. They're going to go on a little bit of adventure and show off just one of the many incredible uses that these tiles are going to get. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button if you liked it. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. Share it with your friends and family. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for watching. Tinley and the Shamrock Boys' coin purses were cut in the middle of the market, and they've tracked the thieves down to their hideout.
We want our money back, and we want it back right now!
Yeah, you heard the lady.
I am sorry, but this is a private club. You may not enter without expressed permission.
Hey, boss, that group of freaks from the market are here. They're looking for their money.
We should tell them to go shove it.
Shove it. That's a good one. No, this is the perfect opportunity to take even more from them.
Yeah, even more. Yeah, you tell them, boss.
Snake, go tell Kedra to lead them to it. Let's see if they can survive.
Yeah, you got it, boss. No problem, boss.
Snake slips through the back, carefully avoiding the traps that his guild has set, making his way to the secret door so that he might deliver the boss's message.
You will let us in this instant. Do you understand?
Where'd he come from? Snake whispers into Kedra's ear.
You want your money? Come get it.
Yeah, come get it. Catch us if you can.
They're bolting. I knew it. Quickly, Captain.
Whoa, wait, Tinley. Something doesn't feel right.
Hurry, we have to hurry.
Follow close, Kedra. Yeah, real close. Wait, Tinley, just wait.
We're losing them quickly.
But as Tinley stepped forward, she triggered the trap.
Legs! Tinley, no! Oh,
I've got
my
you.
Legs,
I've got
they
you.
hurt.
Using their knowledge of the trap, Snake and Kedra return to their boss, the master of their guild. The captain waves the Shamrocks up to help him retrieve Tinley and protect her against some undead. More of the trap? Yes, all goes according to plan. If they're strong enough to take the treasure, we'll get them when they leave. And if they can't find it and make their way here, we'll jump them as soon as they get through the door. Tinley and the Shamrock Boys sure are in a tight spot. I hope they can get out of this one. Hey, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like each other, love each other, and craft on.